Persuasion is a very difficult art to master. It requires preparation, research, and a grounding in logic and reason. It seems formulaic and meritocratic, wherein the best argument with the soundest of logic wins the day. However, in actuality, this isn't the case. To persuade is to enchant, to rid your opponent of every preconceived notion of the position and subject you put forth, and if successful, they will adopt your perspective and lens to view reality. The goal is to reprogram or to prompt a rebirth that may subtly or overtly change their personality and attitude to other aspects in the world around them. Logic and reason works on a small percentage of people in the world. You may have the experience of putting forth seemingly airtight logical arguments in an attempt to convince a friend or family member of a particular philosophical, political, or scientific position, only to be rejected by common tropes, buzzwords, or even obvious fallacies. Or even the occurrence of your friends or family conceding to your argument and seemingly convinced, only for them to at a later date spew the same exact position that you thought you convinced them out of. This phenomenon leads to questions of the general public, whether it be IQ disparity, lack of education, prevalence of public schooling, or the grim ponderance of large percentage of the public being empty vessels, or NPCs, non-playable characters, pre-programmed people incapable of original thought or action, and limited to a very small amount of common and simplistic rebuttals. Perhaps the people you suspect of this classification are genetically and culturally related to you. You think to yourself, why did that argument work for me and not them? Is it purely based on personal experience and personality? Did I inherit in the half or quarter of genetics that I share with them the capacity for logical arguments gene that they did not? Perhaps this limitation is our default state of being that can only be eliminated through the perfect storm of prerequisite understandings and experiences. Perhaps these individuals are not drones or empty vessels, but slaves or captives to a psychological spell implanted by years and years of propaganda, meshed into media, entertainment, current events, and instruction, all enforced by social and cultural pressure, both conscious and subconscious. The collective Borg has had a hold on every child since their inception, and they are inculcated with constant stimuli that reinforces this spell. We often think that in our post-enlightenment Western world that magical and superstitious thinking is dying bit by bit, day by day. With the constant technological and scientific advancement and progress of our society will soon envelop every last superstition and fantastical belief. But as science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke's Third Law states, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Technological advancement has only led to the flourishment of magical thinking. Welcome to the Dim Age.
Dead. One of the most important realizations that we can have in this period is that we need to stop seeing magic as supernatural, which is the mindset of the modern individual.
You are clean and careful because you want to be clean. How nice you look and how proud everyone is of you. New toys look so nice and new clothes look nice. And you like to help by keeping your things as nice and clean.
This is the key. We have mystical problems and we have material problems, and each one requires a different tool. And magic is the technology of the mystic. Look around. How does any of this shit work? I don't care who you are. 99.9% of it may have just been, it should have just been manifested. And it's not even just the stuff being made. How did it get to you? When you look at the Dark Age, the thing about the Dark Ages, or the idea behind the Dark Ages, was that there was this material knowledge that had existed in the Roman Empire, right? And then was lost. The darkness is mysticism. You're not talking about trusting the science. You're using the word science to describe something mystical. We can't say that the mystical is less right. What I've said from the beginning that this is really all about is it's about a generation that promised themselves that their technology would be of such a level that by the time they were old, that they wouldn't have to die. That's what we've got to get to, is to say, okay, we're in an age of magic now. We got to leave behind the material. This is what I'm trying to communicate to people. This is the message that I'm trying to help to move forward. Because if we stay stuck in the material, we're screwed.
The most powerful form of magic out there is art. Film and music especially can change our long-lasting identities in an instant. People often say that a particular film or album completely changed their life. Scenes from films even become part of our memories. Some might even argue indiscernible from real memories. Films alter our reality and hypnotize us to accept it as our own for a time being. Hence the term movie magic. Music can be described as melodic or at times dissonant hypnosis. Urging you to recite and chant lines from a song, whether it's Ave Maria or Yellow Submarine, it's spiritually having an effect on you. Art can manifest tears, laughter, or anger. This is the way of the mystic. The first step that needs to be taken in this new age of mysticism is to accept defeat as propagators of logic and reason and fully embrace magical thinking. The age of 2 + 2 = 4 and rationality and debate is over. No more charts, graphs, nor data. This is the language of slaves. Its effect has been lost. Ideally, the goal should be to imitate the ways of the Catholic monks in the monasteries during the so-called Dark Ages, maintaining the old ways of reason in private through the hoarding of scientific and material literature and media. The old ways of knowledge won't be lost, despite not being useful in our current time. To resist this new reality will only lead to being enveloped by the mob and cast out from society or life itself. In order to end the suffering is to give in and adapt. Without this, we will be tormented by our own desires for the old ways.
It never was about reason. It never was about logic. That's a galaxy brain trap. None of the power was ever there. Ever. It's never freed a single person. Logic and reason has only served to trap people. That's all it's ever served to do. The only thing that has ever freed people is the mystical. That's it. That's the only thing that's ever broken chains. The people chained in the cave, okay, Plato's cave, The guy's chained to the wall. The logic and the reason is that all that exists are those things that I'm seeing. Shadows. That's logic and reason. Me saying, well, no, that we can actually like break these chains, and no, there's a fire behind us, and there's guys walking with animals in front of the fire. Can't be. Never seen them. Never seen them. Can't see them. They can't exist. Look, we can only see this. That's all that's there. That's just a bunch of woo-woo. That's just a superstition. And I'm like, okay, bye. Gone. Stay here with your logic and your reason. It's a trap. It's a trap. The only thing that has ever freed anyone is the belief that there is more than this. That's literally what Plato's cave is about. The only person who breaks their chains is the person who believes that this isn't all there is. Because if you believe this is all there is, you can't break your chains. You can't. The only way to break them, we hold these truths. We've decided, we've committed to holding it self-evident that there is an invisible God who has given us these rights. And it's self-evident. No, it is self-evident. You can't see him. No, wrong. It's self-evident. It's clear. Absolutely 100%. It's clear in and of itself. I don't have to tell you anything more. I hold these truths to be self-evident. You can't argue with that. That's it. That's how you get free.